And the other thing that really drives me nuts, and TikTok barely ever mentions this, they just tell you, like, I'm taking this drug and here are my results. It's not magic. So everybody here, thank you for joining me as always. And yes, you've seen the headline. It's time to talk about TikTok again, because a lot of TikTokers have decided to use Ozempic, which is a diabetes drug, in order to lose weight.
Hey guys, so I'm going to tell you my 1 month review and experience of Ozempic. It suppresses your appetite.
So you guys wanted a before and after, so I'm happy to do that. So I'll show you guys my heaviest, which was 89 kilos, and then I'll show you guys more current photos of me.
Happy Sunday, beautiful people. Welcome to my week 15 on Ozempic.
That's what I ate in a whole day of being on Ozempic.
Thanks to Ozempic, I'm now at my first goal weight.
And that's just a handful of them. Honestly, if you go on TikTok right now and search for this, you will be inundated with them. And before we get into it, yes, Ozempic, I'm probably not pronouncing that correctly, but I'm doing my best, is a drug, an insulin type drug that people inject into themselves if you do have type 2 diabetes, I believe, because the whole point is a lot of type 2 diabetes is caused by people being overweight. So they're like, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to try and adjust that, and this drug will essentially suppress your appetite, blah, blah, blah. So to give you a very layman explanation of what this is, so the official medical name is semaglutide, and Ozempic is the brand name. That's just what happens with these things. We just go for it for some reason. And again, I knew this kind of before, but I did a bit of research. You have to forgive me if it's not 100% correct. But it binds to your GLP-1 receptor, and it stimulates your insulin release from your pancreas. And what that will do is it helps lower your blood sugar levels and reduce the amount of usage being released by your liver. So that slows down food leaving your stomach to help prevent blood sugar spikes. And because GLP-1 can play a role in your digestion and your appetite, you can basically, as well as everything we just said, take this drug and feel full, so you want to eat less. Now, if you have actually been prescribed this by your doctor, fair play. Go absolutely nuts. That's the same with anything. I don't know what's going on in your life, and as long as you are dealing with it with a professional trained physician, good for you, man. I hope you have the best time ever. The problem with the TikTok stuff is much like dry scooping or other crazy stuff they do on there, especially just making up exercises. People are now telling you, look, just go out there and get some. Don't worry about if you've got diabetes. Don't worry about if you're suffering from an illness. You can use it to lose weight. So I suppose if you really want to put it into the bodybuilding space, it's a lot like people doing steroids. Now, there's two reasons this is a problem. The first one is this. Bam, that's right, in The Guardian today. Shortage of diabetes medication Ozempic after TikTok users promote drug for weight loss. The TGA urges GPs to limit prescriptions to approved use for diabetes management and amid a surge in off-label demand. And I believe this is happening in Australia, if I am correct. Basically, the TGA is the Therapeutic Good Administrator, and they put out a statement and said, look, man, Everyone needs to stop prescribing this drug because we're running out of them. So the people that actually need it, people that actually have diabetes, we can't give it to them because the shortage is so much. And again, several Australian users said they were able to access the medication via prescription from their GP. Now, we can't go into each specific case, but the statistic they have here is TikTok users have been documented their weight loss using the hashtag Ozempic, which has garnered 74 million views, as well as Ozempic Journey and Ozempic Australia. And somebody here who is a practitioner has also said there's lots of issues people need to be aware of, but most importantly, it's not yet approved in Australia or the UK for weight loss. It's being used off-label, which means that this huge demand is now stopping people who have a genuine need for the medication for their diabetes. Now, that's just bad, right? I don't care how big you are, how fat you are, how obese you are. If somebody needs it for a health issue, they need it more than you. It's just true. The other problem is this. People never go into this stuff. They never read about it. They never research. They don't know what it does. And this is why TikTok can be... I like TikTok. I like YouTube. I like all this kind of stuff. But the problem is if you are at a certain vulnerable point in your life and you see this trend starting to grow and you see all these stories like the one you just saw of people saying, I lost 12 pounds, I lost 24 pounds, I put 36 pounds. And you're at the end of your tether, you're going to go out there and you're going to take some. And you won't know what it's doing to your body. You won't know about any of the side effects. You won't actually understand the medicinal effect it has in your body. Like, before you take anything, I don't care what you do, genuinely. I want you to protect yourself, and I don't think there's any point looking good if you're in a box, as my phrase somehow by accident. Go and research this stuff and go and read about it and go and find the absolute best stories that back up your decision to take it, but go and find the absolute worst decisions that make you go, maybe it's not worth it, right? And that's the key. It's not worth it. If it's all going to go bad, it's not worth it. So if you do go on this kind of stuff and all of a sudden you start to feel bad, it is this drug. So many people go, oh no, it's because I haven't slept so much. Oh, no, it's because of this, it's because of that. It's not. If you have introduced a new chemical into your system and all of a sudden you're feeling like crap, it's the drug, right? 99.9% of the time, go to your doctor, figure it out. It's the most important thing in the world. But what do you do when you run out of this stuff, right? Let's just take it at its very, very basic level. It suppresses your appetite, meaning you're not going to eat as much, and therefore you're going to lose weight. Calories in versus calories out. In this sense, you are just completely turning off your desire for food, so you're not going to think about it as much, because half the time your brain goes, I'm hungry. You're like, shut up, brain, and then it overcomes you when you slam a pizza up your ass. But when you come off it, because you're not going to be able to get a lifetime supply, especially when things like this are happening and you don't have diabetes, you are going to put all that weight back on, because all that's going to happen is your appetite is going to return hugely, probably even more so because you've suppressed it. That happens as well. Like it's when people get rid of carbs on a much lesser level. When all of a sudden you introduce one carb, your brain goes, well, that carb was awesome. Give me more, give me more, give me more, give me more, give me more. And before you know it, you've got cookies around the bed because you've been eating them all day. But you're going to all of a sudden probably explode, and you're just going to eat a bunch of food. And not only will you put the weight on that you've already lost, you may put on some more. This doesn't work. It does work, but this is not a long-term way for you to find the body that you're looking for. Now, if you think you have the mental strength in order to use it, in order to get down to, say, 200 pounds, whatever the hell you're trying to get down to, and then segue off into a healthy lifestyle that you can sustain day to day, good for you. But I would say this, if you can do that, don't worry about fast tracking it. Don't worry about getting there in a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks for something that may take a month, 2 months, 3 months plus, if not more. Start that today, because that's the one that works. These are all windows we're looking to try and crawl through, because we know it's going to happen tomorrow rather than 6 weeks down the line. But tomorrow always fails eventually, because if you don't understand how to eat properly, and you don't understand how to train properly, and you don't understand how to lose weight or get abs, whatever the hell you're trying to do, be massively vascular, you're going to wind up in the same position you were to begin with. Because I would hazard a guess that if you are overeating too much, you haven't actually educated yourself about nutrition or calories or protein or macronutrients. Because when you do that, even when you do start putting on weight, do you know what most people do? They go, well, it's my fault. I ate that. I ate this. I stopped doing cardio here. I wasn't as active. And they get it. They know, and they can pull all these things back in and kind of start heading back off in the other direction because they understand the things that they have to do. If you just think to lose weight, I take magical medication, that's not a long-term solution, and you're probably going to hurt yourself. And usually what happens when you start taking drugs that you're not meant to taking is all of a sudden, oh, look, you know, you're diabetic, because you're playing around with your blood sugar and you're playing around with your pancreas, which is where diabetes starts. And there is no amount of weight loss that is worth that. And I totally understand it. I've been there. I get it. When you are overweight and you're just desperate and you're struggling to control your food, which can be hard, you know, diets can be really difficult, you will look for anything. But if you are that desperate to do it, go and see your GP and talk about it. And if you're in Australia right now, they say, look, I can't help you with this because we need to have the medication to give to the people that need it desperately. And if you are a moral person and you have ethics, you'd be like, you know what? They need it more than me. I totally get it. Thank you. And the other thing that really drives me nuts, and TikTok barely ever mentions this, they just tell you, like, I'm taking this drug and here are my results. It's not magic. It doesn't melt away fat. You can't sit there and not do anything and take Ozempic for 6 weeks and burn a bunch of calories. You still have to be active, and you still have to be going to the gym, and you still have to work for it. There is no drug that is going to do by magic. The ones you hear about all the time, obviously, testosterone, still got to go to the gym. Trenbolone, or however the hell you pronounce it, the worst drug ever as far as I'm concerned, you got to go to the gym. Clenbuterol, can't pronounce it. You got to go to the gym. There's all these things that are out there that people are promoting now. None of it works unless you are stimulating yourself. So you have to go to the gym. And if you are learning about all this stupid information from TikTok, do they talk about going to the gym? No. Do they talk about doing cardio? No. They just go, I woke up and had a coffee and I had some breakfast and I wasn't really hungry for the rest of the day, so I didn't eat. Well, you can do that anyway. Of course you can. It's harder if you have an appetite, but don't forget what an appetite is. It just means you're hungry. Now, you shouldn't ignore it to a too great a degree because you need food and sustenance to live, but if you are getting enough in to get by, just ignore the hunger. That's the same thing. All this is doing, again, on a very basic level, is switching that hunger off. You don't need to be that person. Like, learn how to be dedicated and learn how to be disciplined, and if you really can't, that's okay too, but go and talk to somebody about it, and maybe this drug will help, but go through the right routes. Don't just see somebody on TikTok saying about it and notice they've got millions and millions of views and that they've lost a bunch of weight. Also, do you really know how much weight they've lost? They're posting a bunch of pictures up there. You don't know when they're taken. I could do that right now. I could literally go and find a picture of myself when I was like, when was I powerlifting? Like early 20s. So 10 years ago, whenever it was, when I was like 18 and a half stone. And I mean, admittedly, you could probably tell a little bit, but I don't think so. I think people look at photos very clearly enough, especially because they're all low res anyway. I think I could put that up now and say, oh my gosh, look how much weight I lost because I took this drug. And you go, wow, amazing. But it's bullshit. That's right. I already swear. But we're doing it here. It's absolute BS. And I hate this because we should be, what TikTok should be doing, and of course this doesn't get any views, so we're not going to do it, is saying, hey, do you want to know a really good way to lose weight? Sort your diet out. Go to the gym. Start burning some calories. Start being active. Find a way to enjoy all that stuff. And then it's not going to be a bother anymore. Don't flipping go and get a pen and inject yourself with it unless you truly need it. Do this stuff with a GP. It's all medication. It can go wrong. Even a paracetamol can kill you if you take too much of it. So if you are going to take prescribed medication, do it alongside with a doctor. Don't do that with your hand on a video because it will distort the audio. So there we go. That's my rant for the day. I feel very, very serious about this because I know people in the past, not to this degree, but they find drugs on Amazon that says fat loss pill and they just take it. They don't know what's in it. They don't know what's in it. Research everything. There is nothing more important than your health, and there is nothing more important than protecting your own body and protecting your own brain. Make that number one. You can't do anything unless you are operating on a good, healthy, not necessarily 100% level, because that's not realistic. But if you're dragging yourself down, bad things are going to happen. And also, as a good life lesson, never listen to TikTok. Now, please do like the video, share the video, and subscribe. And please do leave a comment below. Maybe you disagree with me. If you're going to be nice, I'm happy to have an educated conversation with you, or a civilized conversation, I should say. You will be more educated than me. I'm an absolute moron. Also, go to mind.com/Simon. These are supplements that I will say you can take because they're very good and I've tried them myself. And personally, for me, they have helped me in my fitness journey. Also in Greg Giuseppe's Power 13 cookbook. On Instagram and Twitter at Simon316. On Cameo if you want to shout out. Simon.bigcartel.com, patreon.com/Simon316 for exclusive videos and a bunch of other stuff. Otherwise, yeah, it ain't worth it. It may seem worth it, but personally, I do not think it is. Madness that we even make these videos. See you soon.